Thanks very much. My name is Barry Finnegan. I'm a researcher with the Irish branch of an international civil society group called ATTAC, ATTAC, the Association for the Taxation of Financial Transactions and the Aid of Citizens. I'm here today to tell you about an international trade agreement that's been negotiated between the EU and the USA called TTIP, TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. And the purpose of it is to make it illegal for governments to operate public services, to make it illegal for governments to have government monopolies. And this will mean that it will be illegal to have public water, and we will be forced under international law to privatise our own public water. Now, we're not the only ones here today in the world campaigning for maintaining our public services. Today is the global day of action against free trade agreements, and all around the world there are 700 protests happening to stop the TTIP and to stop other international trade agreements like this. The ATTAC group that I'm part of is part of an Irish coalition of civil society groups called the TTIP Information Network. You can check us out online on Facebook, the TTIP Information Network, or the ttip.ie website. Now, how does this system work? This EU-US trade deal is going to set up a private kangaroo court called an ISDS, Investor State Dispute Settlement. And the purpose of it is to allow global corporations to bypass the normal courts of the land, to be able to bypass the courts of Ireland, the courts of Europe, and the courts of America, and to sue the people of Ireland for all the money that they won't earn as a result of us not privatising our water. You might think this is crazy. Well, let's look at Veolia, that shower that runs the Lewis. They've got 20,000 private water business customers in the west of Ireland. They've got a contract to run the water treatment plants and the water sewage plants for the next 20 years in Ireland. Let's see what they're doing around the world. They signed a deal with the dictatorship of Egypt that they'd be allowed run services, public services in Egypt. The people there had a revolution, and one of the demands of the revolution was to increase the minimum wage. Well, the people got the power, and the people did increase the minimum wage. And what did Veolia do? They used one of these crazy kangaroo ISDS courts to sue the people of Egypt for $2.3 billion. The government backed down, and the government did not increase minimum wages. That is what Veolia will be able to do in this country. Not only sue the government for increasing the minimum wage, but sue the government for not privatising water. This deal has to stop. This Slevin Bruton, he says, don't worry about TTIP, he says. He says, don't worry, the public services are grand. Well, let's see what he did. Late last year, he signed a letter with 13 other EU trade ministers, and he wrote a letter to the new boss of EU trade and the new boss of the EU Commission, and he says, never mind the people of Europe, never mind the fact that 1.6 million people across Europe have signed a petition to stop this grotesque anti-democratic trade agreement. He says, get on with it and sign the TTIP and finish with the ISDS. And his Slevins and Fine Gael and Labour, what they're planning to do is to hide behind this trade deal called TTIP, to hide behind America, to hide behind Europe and say it wasn't me that privatised water. Anyway, you can go online, you can register your disapproval, you can just type in stop TTIP, you'll find the petition and you can sign it. The other thing you can do is go down to your local post office and check the electoral register and make sure you're registered for next year. And anyway, that's all I was going to say. The only way to stop water privatisation, apart from coming out in the streets and not paying and all the rest of it, is this EU trade deal has to stop. Thank you very much.